You let me?
We're never going to get through this. Yes, I love you, but we're never
Fun.
going to get through this. So funny. So I'm like trying to talk to Auxil, and I'm like, okay, what's next? Here we go. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And then he doesn't say anything.
Motherfucker.
And I'm like, hello, you coming or not? And he's like, just go there. It's like he's continuing to reiterate what he was talking about on the trail today, which is like coming into this place of like trusting myself in the now moment, to know what to do, to know, to be guided by the energy of the moment, to like talk about what's needed, talk about what's coming forward, and really let go of that need to like prepare it in my mind. It's such a strong feeling, and it's so strange to try and articulate that, because it's like, you know, you teach yourself to tune into these things that are otherworldly, to this channel, to this connection to your cosmic family, to your ancestral family, whatever you're tuning into. You train yourself to get into that space. And then once you really get in there, you literally try and organize it back into like 3D. It's a weird thing to have to like recognize these certain layers of our mind, and the way that we perceive anything has to really begin to get released as we go into these higher energies.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm sitting here like, hello, okay, I'm ready, let's go. And they're like, yeah, cool, us too. You know?
Yeah,
He's like, you
go
wanted
first.
co-creation, didn't you?
Where's the co?
Yeah. Wow. The first thing that was coming forward so strongly today was that through these last few years, especially of our ascension and opening up, looking at the places within us that held resistance, whether it was fear, whether it was trauma, past life, childhood, whatever it was, looking at these things and making sense of them from this new energy that we were meeting, bringing that into broader perspective. That was all very, very important and very intertwined in what's happening now. They're like, that was a kind of regeneration period where the soul of the light workers, way showers, etc., were really being brought back into the body, and our conscious expansion was learning how to integrate those two things. And he said today we're moving, let me just clarify, today, as of 12/12, with this new energy opening, we're moving into a place of revelation. And when he said that to me on the trail today, I thought to myself, like, revelation as in the Bible. And he said, oh, it's so multidimensional. Like, you can't limit the energy of revelation that's being ushered to the planet right now. He said it's an internal revelation. It's a collective revelation. It's every sector, every bubble of consciousness, every topic you can think of. There's a revelation really unfolding right now as of the 12/12 opening up into the 12/21 winter solstice. This energy in the meantime is going to be very, very revealing. Like your inner navigation, your inner understanding of how you're navigating your own ascension right now. And then, you know, the collective energies will really begin to open and reveal the truth of what has been going on and what's shifting. But what's the point?
Is it like an inner realization that's happening? Like
Yeah.
we're really starting to open up consciously inside?
Yeah, because of the energies.
Yeah.
And then they're just making me feel like the point of all of that is when we get to the 21st, that energy is what propels the light into the age of Aquarius. It's like the dark energy is truly over, and we get to really begin to live and bask from this place of inner light, inner knowing, inner God force connection. And I feel like that's also the time they're like showing me this rising of the blueprint, so that the light workers and way showers are going to be having more access, whether it be visually or clear audience or just this sense and this knowing of that's what's next. They're just going to have a stronger grip on their energy abilities and what they've been tuning into. I think for a long time, a lot of light workers and people who've been opening up to their inner knowing, they find themselves wanting to either label or limit or call it something because of what somebody else is doing. And I think overall the spiritual community is really starting to recognize that their own inner abilities, gifts, and energies are not what other people are doing. It's this inner development of energy that's been happening throughout their entire life. And it's only now that they're able to take that, pinpoint it, and really recognize it as the gift. Because for so many of us, it's always been the flaw. And now here we're turning it all around through our inner child healing and the movement of this ascension energy. And we're now able to really begin to focus this on our path forward. We're moving from this place of trust and learning how to trust in this energy to recognizing, the revelation of your soul's connection, of your intuition's guidance, of your body's ability to tune into and understand the energies around us. If we would just get out of our head, right? Just like they're telling me in the beginning when I'm sitting down going, okay, what are we going to talk about? If we just get out of our head, the truth exists there in our heart, and all we have to do is walk forward. So, what's next? The energy is going to get really intense. There's still massive clearing and purging going on within the collective, releasing a lot of the lower densities because those finer, thinner frequencies, those remnants of the matrix, the lingering pieces that most have detached from, that are in the spiritual community, to say the least, but even within the collective, they're starting to detach from some of this, the matrixy structures. So there is still kind of this purge of energy happening as they're finding themselves revealing to themselves the truth of what they're seeing and noticing, and what that means for them and their family, and how that incorporates into their, religious background, spiritual background, their history. People are really starting to see. So for this next week, coming from my human self, I just want to say, keep grounding. Keep grounding. Keep connecting yourself to nature. Keep connecting yourself to your heart center. Keep your own energy field pure so that when the external collective energy comes up, you can discern if need be, if you need to detach from that, move away from that. But keep yourself as connected to your center as you can, because it does feel as though this revelation will be received through our filter. So wherever you're vibrating at, you're going to receive these revelations that are coming over this next week and into the 21st. The revelations will come through your filter. So if you're in a place of filtering your reality through fear, that's how you're going to receive this energy. It's not that you're receiving it through the fear, it's your interpretation. And this is why so many have been called into their healing and activation up to this, so that when this energy comes in, it's not filtered through the fear of the matrix. It's filtered through the possibility of what they've been learning. And within that, there's so much more love and empowerment.
I'm listening to what you're saying and then kind of thinking about everything that's transpired in the last 48 hours. Thinking about when we are interpreting energy, just allowing it to come through without trying to put it in a box.
Yeah.
And instead of, oh, this feels so intense, and labeling it as fear, when really, no, this is more of you coming in to support yourself.
Yeah.
So I see this gateway opening up right now through the 21st. It's kind of like the gateway of Ascension is opening, and that connection is, depending on where you're at vibrationally, it's going to anchor in.
Yeah, because we get to choose it. It's the energy showing up. And what we've been learning over these last 6 months is, how do you want to participate, right?
Yeah.
How do you want to show up in this space and reveal to yourself that you are who you've been saying that you are? Reveal to yourself that you have
Show
this
yourself.
Connection that you do have. And the way that we do that is moving through the moments where we feel ourselves and our energy kind of maybe get a little frantic, because if you think about even today being out on the trail and receiving the download of the message that we're talking about today, I still was trying to, okay, so do we talk about that first or do we talk about that second? Like, I was still trying to prepare myself in advance, and Auxil's like, no, you have to be in the moment, because in order to receive the full message, you need to move yourself out of the way, and we can't do that when we're constantly trying to interpret what's coming in. So it's like, notice when the energy's coming in, and in those moments where you kind of feel, let's put it here, what's first, what's next. Notice that in itself is even the fine tuning of resistance, of us getting out of the way to let the full light, the full message, the full receiving, that full revelation to show up. Because when you do that and give yourself that space, creating the opportunity for the universe to show up in that space too, because we're talking about co-creation, then we have the whole message, then we have the whole picture, then we have that focal point in which we get to clarify our desire moving forward instead of cutting it off. And so it feels so divine and so perfect, because it's teaching me that right now and right here, just being present with myself, being present with you, I didn't have to remember that energy. I didn't have to line that up. I didn't have to be prepared, because everything I am in this moment is better than any preparation I could have done on the trail. There's nothing that beats your alignment. And your alignment is not just this pure high vibration. Your alignment is total acceptance of yourself and the situation in the now moment, trusting yourself to just be present and show up. Trust myself to know that if something were to happen, if something were to be off, like, I can take care of it. We have edit buttons.
That's what I was going to say. I think, sometimes even when new inspirations come in, sometimes I can get super excited.
Yeah.
And even that pinches it off.
Well, because it's in that excitement, and this is what I got. This is what was revealed to me. Mm-hmm. Even in that excitement, there's the awareness of, I didn't have this before, and I have this now.
And then that pinches it off.
Exactly. And when you're in more alignment, it's like, ooh, yeah, next step.
Yeah.
Right?
Or sometimes the idea comes through, and then your brain goes, wait. You think that the information is coming through a certain way, and then you stop it, pinch it off, resist it, because you
thinking
don't
about
see
it too much.
But if you would have just let it flow naturally all the way to the outcome, you would have the clear understanding of the path you're supposed to take, instead of just a blip. No, I can't do that. So we shut it off. It's like, you got literally the icing of the cupcake. Wait for the whole cupcake, and you spit it out because you don't like vanilla.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, it's got caramel in the middle, chocolate on the side, some ice cream.
Oh my goodness.
Also the
cinnamon rolls. That's good. I like that, though. It's like, but if you think about these new ways we're learning to love ourselves in these fifth dimensional energies, and you really start to think about what's next and like who we're becoming, that has to be what's next. trusting ourselves enough to be aware in the now moment, to discern, to show up in balance, to show up without our triggers, to show up in love, to show up in unification, connection to our guides, co-creation, right?
Yeah.
Like not just us in this now moment, but all of us in this now moment, like we were talking about earlier. It brings a higher vibratory energy to the table anyway. There's no other, even like morning coffee, we sit and we have these awesome conversations. But right now in this moment, we receive the energy that was given to us on the path today. We came into alignment, sitting here to talk about it together and just kind of share and explore this new energy together. And it already feels so magical,
It's fun. Yeah.
So I get it. Trust the fucking process. Okay, here we are. I get it. And that seems to be the theme. It's like they're telling me to turn one way, I turn, and then it's like just revealed so perfectly, so beautifully, and then it keeps coming up like, yes, I get it. Follow the path. Follow the path of least resistance, follow
Easy
the
button.
nuggets.
Yeah.
Follow what we're giving you. It doesn't have to be hard. And then it brings me right back to what we were talking about this morning with fear. Because what came up, what brings me into the energy of trying to organize the channels when they come through, or like, half-ass receive downloads because I want to not forget it. And it's like, it's in that is fear. It's fear that I'm not going to be able to show up in this place. I'm not going to be able to show up under pressure in my connection. And it's a lie. That's an illusion. The fear is an illusion, because you don't learn Chinese and then just forget it because you're in a bad mood. It's a connection. It's a communication. It's something that's always there. Once you're in it and practicing it, it's there. You turn it off, you turn it on, but it doesn't just go away willy-nilly because
Right.
in the moment you're so worried about, can I remember this?
I think that we are in the habit of trying to navigate everything. So our egos are so
Yeah.
trained to navigate everything.
Yeah.
And where we're at now in this new energy is we don't want
Through
to.
thoughts of caution.
Right. We don't want to navigate our own realization, our own
Yeah.
revelation.
Revelation, yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
You're so memorizing.
Your eyes are so
I
memorizing.
just love being in this memorizing place with you. It's fuller, It feels full.
Mm-hmm.
It feels good.
It feels good. And you were saying that a lot of people now are finally starting to disconnect from the matrix.
Yeah.
And I feel like the COVID situation, people are staying at home a lot more, whether they're unemployed or just working from home.
Right.
I feel like that's actually triggering the release of people from the matrix.
Heck
And
yeah.
it's getting them inside themselves more.
Yeah.
And right before Christmas, then we also have people connecting because it's the holidays and
Yeah.
coming together. So it's interesting that that's the time we're in right now. It's going to be fun.
It is. And in the revelation, in the unveiling of the truths that are coming to the surface within us as individuals, as within a collective, whether we're just talking about the spiritual collective or human collective in general, it's really important, I think, that we talk about for just a moment and give a little focus to the fact that it's important as a way shower to recognize that everybody has their own path and not try and navigate or push maybe something that we've already grounded and understood onto somebody who's not necessarily ready to get that, because it splits our energy and it moves us from somebody who's being in a connected state to oneness and love consciousness to one that's being in kind of a savior mode, savior energy. And savior energy is I have a thing that I know or a thing that I can do that you can't. And that energy alone is causing discord. So it's like remembering also that as things are being revealed, we don't have to direct other people's openings or other people's awakenings. I had a client last week say the most perfect thing, it's like everybody's climbing the same mountain. And
Yeah.
it's so true. Actually, it wasn't a client, it was Lucas Mack. He said that on the podcast. He was like, everybody's climbing the same mountain. And it is, but it's like, are you going to carry love or fear in that backpack? And that's a choice that we get to make as we come here and incarnate in this lifetime to participate in Ascension. And who are we to say that these super brave souls that are choosing to wake up in this time and space didn't ask for that experience? And who are we to try and intervene in what their souls asked for? I mean, you've got to be so brave of a soul to come into this time and go through your awakening in the midst of fear and chaos and literally find your way back to love. Because when we had to do it, it was only inner love and inner chaos that we were navigating. Now they have inner love, inner chaos to navigate, but they also have an external world that to many who are awakening and going through the dark night of the soul right now, it looks like fucking Armageddon to them.
Yeah, I never thought about that, but that's very true.
It's like, well, and the only reason I ever thought about it that way, because it's like when you think about a regression, I did a regression with a beautiful soul this last week, and in her regression, they're like talking about how, the strongest of souls are the ones who fought for these spaces. It's not that there's just all these wimpy people asleep on Earth. Only when you look at it through a human third dimensional perspective do you see it through those eyes. The strongest of souls are the ones that are still sleeping and still struggling with their bodies and still struggling with mental illness and the program and the matrix and not enough food, not enough money, not enough this, not enough that, the political structure holding control over you. Those are the brave souls because they're the ones trying to dig their way out of fear, in the middle of fear, so that they can find their truth in love. Holy hell, we never did that, thank goodness.
Yeah. I mean, we went through our experiences of moving through things, but I can't imagine doing
it
that
now.
Holy moly.
There's no way.
Yeah.
So I just, it's like, let them be, let them have their process. When they reach out, man, we're going to show up. And it's going to feel so good. But I have just this inner knowing. It's like everybody is climbing the same mountain. We have to let them have their experience. What are they going to bring to the table saying that they fought tooth and nail for their soul to make it through this ascension? I mean, that's something to be proud of too. Just like us as the light workers and way showers. I mean, we fought tooth and nail in very dense energy, very thick programming to try and wake ourselves up without any validation.
Yeah.
And they have the experience of having people here going, come on, come on, come on. But man, if they're not ready, they're not ready. And that's none of our business.
It's easier said until it comes to people that are close to you. Because you want them to experience what you're experiencing. You want them to feel the high vibrations that you experience, and you want that for them.
But they will.
I didn't think of it in terms of, what was it that you just said? In terms of you're actually seeing lack in them.
Yeah.
It's like, wow,
Yeah.
okay, you're not doing anyone any damn favors.
No. And let's rephrase it this way, because we know that we're projectors of energy, and this is kind of how we co-create. It's not even that we're seeing them through the eyes of lack. We're literally giving them the vibration of lack, telling them to trust us in helping them.
You don't have this thing I have.
Yeah. Here's this lack. Let me fix you.
Yeah.
And it's like when you look at it from a human perspective, that's the training, to help others that need your help, to help those who maybe are younger in their education or however. I mean, I don't want to put like levels and limits and labels on it, But even when you think about it energetically, there are people who are existing in denser reality right now. And when you don't live in that reality, of course you want them to see. I mean, everything that we do is trying to get people to see it from our perspective, right? So it is what it is. But I just think one of the things that we can all focus on going into this next week as this energy is loud and clear, revealing to us many, many things through many, many avenues, many dimensions of this reality. We have to keep in mind that we are all going to the same place, but we are all going to take the path that our soul chooses. Yeah. And what kind of light can we bring to the room if we actually walk in and accept the path that they choose and love them through it? What does that show them? You know, it's like we get to then be in the space of actually being the way shower, allowing them to be where they are, yet standing there being the light and new energy that we are, representing a new world, representing a new way of thinking, a new way of being, without projecting, right? Projecting that outward.
Living unconditionally.
Yeah, big time. Universal love. Universal.